Alright guys, so today's video, I want to kind of go back and look at a pair of true wireless earbuds that we've checked out already. And that pair is the Razer Hammerhead True Wireless Pro. And the reason that I want to come back to these is this is one of those pairs that I think is just easily getting overlooked, and I don't think it gets the amount of respect it deserves compared to other true wireless earbuds on the market. And mainly because if you look to see what's the #1 selling earbud, it's not really a surprise, but it's Apple's AirPods Pros, which I do think is a good product. I do think it is overpriced. I do think it's missing a few features here and there. And when it comes to audio quality, it's just not as good as some of the other ones out there in the market, especially some that are in that same price range. And that's kind of where the Razer Hammerhead Pros come in. They retail about the same price. They actually come in retailing lower than the AirPods Pros. Now, this is not a sponsored video in any way. Again, I just feel like this product's getting overlooked. So let's just go ahead and compare it to the #1 selling earbud out there. And so to start with, we need to talk about the price, because the Apple AirPods Pros retail for $250. Now, they do go on sale from time to time, and they do go as low as around $200, where the Hammerhead Pros already come in retailing at $200. And actually right now, I think they are on sale for $180. So even with the retail price or the sale price, you can usually pick up the Hammerhead Pros cheaper than the AirPods Pros. Now, as far as feature-wise, let's talk about the instant connectivity, because if you are in Apple's ecosystem, obviously the AirPods Pros is very enticing because it's going to work with your phone and your iPad and your MacBook and just instantly connect, and it's just kind of less hassle to go to different Bluetooth settings and pair all that stuff up. Now, the Razer Hammerhead Pro had that same instant connectivity on my Pixel. As soon as I opened up the lid, you see the pop-up to just connect. It was very simple. So it kind of depends if you're on Apple's ecosystem or Android to which one you're going to get that pop-up connection. Now, one of the huge things that I think gives Razer the advantage over the AirPods Pros is Razer has designed an app that works either with Android or iOS, where you can do many different things. There's pre-built EQ settings. You can go in and customize the EQ settings to sound however you want to. And also through that app, they have even pushed an update to now give the Hammerhead Pros control over everything. Because when I originally did my review on these, I did point out that I was not happy with the fact that you couldn't control the volume. Razer listened to that complaint, and they have now added it to this pair, which I definitely think gives these an advantage, because the AirPods Pros still do not have volume control. And Apple, I don't think, is going to address this because they've never even addressed it on the original AirPods. Now, some other things that I want to point out is the Razers also have a gaming mode. You can switch it into this mode and get around 60 milliseconds latency, which means if you're going to be watching movies, videos, and if you're somebody that likes to game on your mobile device, switching it over into gaming mode is just going to leave it where you're not having any kind of lag. At least I didn't experience any, where the AirPods Pros is definitely going to cut down on lag if you're using iOS devices, but with Android devices, there is going to be lag with certain apps, and especially with gaming, so I did want to point that out. Now, both products do have these smart sensors where if you do take the earbuds out, they will automatically pause and they will resume when you put them back in. And another thing that we need to go ahead and talk about is the noise canceling and the transparency mode. Because surprisingly, the noise canceling on the Razers are very close to the AirPods Pros. I think the only difference is the AirPods Pros are doing a little bit better job of blocking out people talking and car horns and anything that just kind of has like a higher frequency to it. Where I feel like the Razers, you can hear people talking a little bit more. Again, as far as comparing them on a level, I would say maybe the AirPods Pros are blocking out 80%, and I'd put the Razers at 75%. So there is not a huge difference there, but there is a huge difference in the transparency mode. This is one thing that Apple has just knocked out of the park. You're just able to hear your surroundings almost as though you didn't even have the earbuds in your ear. It just has more of a natural sound to it, where the Hammerheads, I think, are doing a very good job allowing you to still carry on conversations and hear traffic and things like that, but it does sound a little bit more digital. And so that's really a mixture of the technology between the both of these and the microphones that they're using. And speaking of the microphones, this is another area that people automatically think of AirPods because their mics are so good for phone calls and Zoom meetings and things like that. And the Hammerhead Pros, in my opinion, sound just as good. There is only a slight difference in what each one is good at. I think the AirPods Pro does a little bit better job of picking up your treble. It's a little bit more detailed and clear, where I feel like the Hammerhead Pros is picking up a little bit more bass in my vocals. And I think, in my opinion, that makes it sound a little bit more natural. So it kind of just depends on what you want. I don't think anybody on the other end of a call is ever going to have any issue with being able to hear what you're saying or just hear you in general with either one of these products. And so now I want to talk about what all you're actually getting in the box, because there is definitely some differences here. Now, the AirPods Pro just comes with a small, medium, and large of their silicone ear tips, where the Razer Hammerhead Pro has included two different sets of small, medium, and large silicone ear tips. So you have one that's a little bit firmer, you have one that's a little loose. Now, this definitely has its effect on the audio, but Razer has also included a pair of Comply foam ear tips as well. So you pretty much have a lot to choose from straight out of the box with the Razers. Now, as far as the charging cable with either one, the AirPods Pros use a Lightning cable, where the Hammerhead Pros use a USB-C cable. One advantage I definitely have to give to the AirPods Pros is the case that's included is a Qi wireless charging case. And that's one thing I don't understand why Razer hasn't done, especially in this price range. I just think a lot of people are going to expect a wireless charging case if you're going to be spending around $200. But speaking of the charging, battery life is very similar on both of these. It's not going to blow anybody away, but because they have noise canceling and some other things going on, the battery life just isn't as strong as it is on other earbuds. Now, with the Hammerhead Pros, you're going to get around 4 hours on the earbuds. Even at times, I was able to squeeze out a little bit more than 4 hours, where with the charging case, you're going to get around 20 hours total. Now, the Razers do have a fast charge feature where a 15-minute charge will get you 3 hours of use, where the battery life on the AirPods Pros is around 4.5 hours on the earbuds, with around 24 hours using the case. Now, they also do have a fast charge feature where a 5-minute charge will get you an hour's worth of use. Now for the most important part. This is the part where we need to talk about the sound. The sound quality between the two are definitely on different levels. I feel like the AirPods Pro is a warmer sounding earbud. I feel like the bass is boomier, and depending on what you're listening to, at times it can even sound a little bit sloppy. I said this in my original review, and I still feel this way about it now, where I feel like the Hammerhead Pro is a much more detail-oriented earbud, which allowed me to hear a lot more things that I wasn't hearing with the AirPods. I felt like vocalists sounded much better, a lot more detailed. Same thing with instruments. You're just able to pick apart things better. It sounded more spacious, even though, yes, people are going to say, well, the AirPods Pro has spatial audio. Do keep in mind that that only works with Apple devices. It doesn't play well with both. Obviously, if you already own an iPhone and an iPad and a MacBook and things like that, you're more likely going to get a pair of AirPods already. It just works better within that ecosystem. But if you're somebody like me, where I use an Android device and I have a Chromebook, I have a laptop, I have a PC, all of these different things, I honestly feel like the Razer Hammerhead Pro is just a better product overall. At least it fits my needs better. And so I do these type of videos because I like to shine a light on products that I just don't think are getting the attention they deserve. And the Razer Hammerhead True Wireless Pros is definitely one of those products. But guys, that's my video on these. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.